see all of us cleaning up so that the police wouldn't come clean up. Amazing. Wonderfully amazing. But here we are today, and I want to reject a few premises. I do not have the answers. We do. I am not going to save anything. We are. Yeah. And most importantly, I'm not advocating to save or to transform any party at all. What I am saying is that we bum rush every space, we bum rush every party. This is a nonpartisan movement about reclaiming democracy of real Americans. This is about owning the streets block by block and city by city. It's about developing urban farming initiative strategies so we can have food security happening in the hood. And there's no partisanship to that at all. Yeah! This is about ending police repression, ending things like stop and frisk. I'm not down for managing stop and frisk at all.
Oh yeah.
This is about reclaiming public spaces when we know that there are empty lots, we know there are empty buildings, we know there are more empty buildings and units, there are homeless people in our city and our country. This is a human problem. But somehow we found each other and we recognized that there was a core, central, common goal. And I don't want to use the word enemy as much as I use the word goal. And that goal was and is to get the corporate dollars out of our political system that has infiltrated public policy and have given rise to things like the prison industrial complex, which, by the way, is tethered to the cutting of education in our hoods. So as you cut education, you jam students with student debt and you build prisons. No. The corporate control over our political system and our public policy is going to come to an end at the hands of real Americans taking over, like I said on October 4th in Zuccotti, what is already ours.
Yes, sir!
Now let me take it from a hip-hop perspective so that you understand this is actually true. I am a hip-hop artist, unapologetically a hip-hop artist, unapologetically a hip-hop ambassador, and unapologetically a hip-hop activist, which means we take other people's stuff and remix it. It means we throw a cardboard box on a sidewalk and transform a sidewalk into a dance studio. It means we go into a public park, we steal electricity, and we have a thing called the block party. And it means that a gang member named Africa Bambaataa can bring together the elements of hip-hop in his hood, not for any political reason, but to save lives where people live. This is what we represent. Yeah! Now, I want to say two things directly to some of the challenges that we've been confronting. Now, folks, first of all, say, you have a lot of guts to get involved in politics. Good luck. Wish you well. What I know is that surviving New York City took a lot. Growing up in New York City took a lot. Being involved in the political process is a privilege, is an honor, but more importantly for me, it's an absolute necessity, because I will not sit by knowing that some of these folk can co-opt our language when they want, while they still pass laws that repress our rights as U.S. citizens. I can do something about that as an individual. We together can organize to do something about that as individuals. And the premise of Bum Rush to Vote is to empower the learning, the political literacy, so that others can take this framework. Others can begin to bum rush to vote where they live. And we bum rush the city. We bum rush the mayor's race next year. We bum rush the House of Representatives in 2 years. And we pull back our democracy.
Yeah.
And now some of the challenges. Yeah, I'll take a tissue. You already know how I get down. I'm Puerto Rican. I will sweat on you. And you don't even need a parade for that. Gracias.
That's French.
Nah, it's not French. No, I speak Spanish then. In a little Ebonics. Now, three things that happened over the last week that I want to share with you all so that you can get a sense of A, what we're up against, B, how the organization, and particularly the political machine, is using the media, the corporate control media, to skew what we're doing. And then also I want to get into a call about some group that said Occupy was dead. So we'll get into that. First, I'm at a table. We have like an info table, true Occupy style table. And that's my district office table. So one of the knocks on our campaign is, well, you don't have an office. My answer to that is offices are designed to keep people from the street out of the office. We're building a people's office, a people's machine, and so we have a table that rotates throughout the district. It's called my district office table. And people never seen anything like that. But I guarantee that it's absolutely created a new vision of what an elected official could be for those folk in the neighborhood. And they're like, wow, you're out here, you're really here. And my promise is that we will keep the table going even if I get elected. But at the table you find lots of things. And I've been encouraging folks to recognize that this year everything would be filtered through the political lens. When we were in Town Square, we recognized that we're organizing, we're getting together, we're singing, we're empowering each other, but thousands of residents who live outside of the park are not coming where we are. They're sympathetic, we know it. We stand on the issues of the 99, we get it. But they're getting their cues from another source. They're getting their cues from the presidential election, where they're spending hundreds of millions of billions of dollars to be able to influence the conversation. So we know that 120 million, roughly, Americans will vote this year. That's a lot of people. We got to talk to them. But more importantly, it's about bringing that conversation back to actual people, knowing what they think. And you'd be surprised. A lot of folks are pro-Occupy. You'd be surprised how many folks are getting the wrong messages and why it's important that we talk to them directly, one-on-one, so we can actually start to break down some of what the corporate media has been spinning. So, I'm at a table. I think it's on 5th Avenue and 9th Street in the Park Slope section of the district. And I'm about 10 feet off the table. Jeff Brewer was there and a couple other folks, Tim Logan and a few other heads. And a gentleman came to the table and looked at the table and said, "Occupy Wall Street, George Martinez, well, he could drop dead." Yeah. But I'm a diplomat, and most folks know that. And one of the articles that came out early in Occupy when they called me an ambassador, and I actually am. And so I'm very diplomatic, but I'm also from Brooklyn. First. So in true Brooklyn style, this actually earned me some votes, believe it or not. I took my glasses off, walked over to the gentleman face to face, took my glasses off so I could see him eye to eye without any glare. I didn't want him to get confused. And I said, "Good morning, sir. I'm George Martinez. Why don't you tell me to drop dead to my face?" And he didn't. He gave it an if-then statement. Well, if, then, you know, because I don't agree, and it started getting real tricky. And I said, as I put my glasses back on, yeah, exactly, that's what I thought you were going to say. Now, he said some other things, and the conversation ended when genocide was one of his solutions for a whole group of people in a certain part of the world, and we just realized that, yeah, all right, this is a dangerous situation. But local folks recognize that sometimes you actually need to stand up for what you believe in, hold people accountable, and look them right in the eye and tell them, "You really believe that? Let's challenge you on that. You really believe that poor people are poor because we have bad values? Sorry. You really believe that people on public assistance don't work hard? Sorry, we're coming for you. And you really believe that kids believe that education is the key to success and yet we should have high interest loans? Sorry, challenge that. You believe the corporations could run our democracy? Challenge them right in the eye, face to face, but you gotta do it by walking the streets. You gotta talk to people. So now, that was a beautiful exchange. I got about 4 or 5 voters on the side who were like, "Yo, I want that brother in Congress. He's not going to take any shorts. Let those Republicans, let the conservatives tell him something. He's going to go in there. I dare them to throw me out of the chamber with a hoodie on, like if I'm celebrating for Trayvon Martin. I dare them to do that. We'll bum rush that chamber and kick them all out before we leave." But we have